Tomb Raider. First 15 minutes, official trailer.
Peggy
Okay.
18.
Shadow of Tomb Raider, official trailer. Let's see. Eidos Montreal. Montreal. Crystal Dynamics. Not actual gameplay. Why not? Okay. So we got someone doing a ritual. We got, looks like guys chasing after Laura. Ooh, someone in camo. Guess it's Laura in camo. Alright, so she's still got her hook and stuff. Kind of looking like maybe they're trying to convey more of a stealth fighter theme here. Oh, this is like that Apocalypto movie there, where the guy's painted blue. Okay.
I've come so far.
So we still got like the climbing and stuff.
I'm not turning back.
Okay.
After all I've sacrificed. I have to wonder.
She's in the water. Looks like situations for the quick action buttons again. You don't like her hair. Oh, she killed the guy doing the ritual? Run, Golak! That was the name of the guy in
What will I
Apocalypto, if I
become?
remember. Well, that was the name he was given, because it meant like moron or something. Or like stupid. So stringy. What the? She traveled through time somehow? Shadows of the Tomb Raider. Become the Tomb Raider. Pre-order now. I wish they wouldn't like have like so September 14th. Become the Tomb Raider. Shadow of Tomb Raider. I wish I can like there's a way to like get rid of this here so I can see because it says like what now? What? You decided to put a thing over it, you know? Alright, so Xbox One, PS4, PC, Steam. Alright. September 14th. That's not that far away. I will probably play it on Xbox One X, to be honest with you, because I don't think I can be able to stream that on PC and play at the same time. I don't think that that's gonna work out. See, my thoughts about Tomb Raider is, I mean, we can see that they're definitely going for more of a stealth fighter here, you know, so it's different than, you know, like a God of War kind of linear fighting thing, but I fear that they're gonna go linear again with this, which I think is I mean, yeah, most Tomb Raiders, all the Tomb Raiders kind of were more linear, but there was some aspects of like going and exploring on your own. But the one thing that I missed when I played the Tomb Raider reboot was that kind of puzzle action to the game, you know, where it wasn't just sneaking and fighting. Well, it wasn't really sneaking, it was just fighting, but I mean, that's just because the game wasn't as elaborate back then. It wasn't you know what could the system do at that time, you know, so it didn't have a chance to be as much of that. But I missed the puzzles. I really genuinely enjoyed the puzzles. I enjoyed the jump puzzles. I enjoyed all of like this stuff that it wasn't just fighting, and I thought that was really cool because it took a lot of thinking to beat those things, you know. it was so explorative. It was so beautiful. Like, it was always stunning. It wasn't just that it was a puzzle, but it was like a puzzle in this gigantic room that you had to figure out, and you had to push things and move things around and find keys and stuff. Like, I thought it was so vibrant and it was so different. You know, it was this shooter story game that also had this upper level of class and, depth of age almost to it, that it wasn't just like a kid's game in a way. It took thinking. It took thinking to complete that game, because if you got stuck on a puzzle and couldn't figure out the puzzle, you couldn't continue. Whereas in this, it's like, it looks like it's more of the same from the original reboot, and there wasn't like too many puzzles in that. There was like some puzzles that had like a hint of a puzzle to it, but it wasn't really, Tomb Raider to me. Now, I understand they're trying to like reboot to kind of reach different audience, and I do understand that there is a side of it that this is like one of the main female characters in the gaming world, in which there aren't too many, which is great. And I'm not saying anything about that stuff. It's really just on, I miss the puzzles. I loved them. And we're in a day and age where I can't really think of a game that's rocking puzzles that is also a nice casual storytelling experience, that Tomb Raider was. Either games are like hardcore puzzle games or they're not. Like, we just finished playing Beyond Two Souls and found out there was bonus content that almost had a Portal feel to it, where you're working together with the Aiden soul and stuff. So if you haven't played that, if you watch on YouTube or on Twitch or whatnot, you haven't played that, look it up. That's cool. But like, there was some puzzle aspects to that, But I can't really think of any game that is also like this shooter kind of fighting game with story and cutscenes, and also has this beautiful, like, other than maybe what's that game on PlayStation that I'm thinking of? Something, so the character's like something North or something. I think it's just on PlayStation. I can't remember the name of it right now. They do exist, but they're very few and far between. They really are. And I don't want to say it's a shame, because Tomb Raider's got to grow. It's got to change into what it needs to be. I know that, like, before the reboot, some of their, titles and stuff were feeling kind of washed out and old and played. But I really feel like a lot of time these games companies are saying things are played out and stuff, but they're not trying hard enough to do better. The reboot was great. It felt different. It was great for a whole new audience. But I think that they just stopped writing as enthralling of a story. I think that they didn't take Lara and the story for that style of game, to keep that type of playing and explorative nature. I don't think that they took it to as interesting of a place. Because the great thing about Tomb Raider was you'd see, 7 different types of worlds, All of a sudden you're in a place with dinosaurs, and then you're in this wonderful underwater, kind of place that you're exploring and playing. And the story would come along with you to all these places, because you were racing, the bad people to the place that they needed to go to. Even if you look at the movies, the one with Angelina Jolie, she's not just in one place. It's not just taking place in one place. She's traveling around. She's in Rome in this part, then she's over here. And that's what the original Tomb Raider was to me. It was all these different vibrant places that by the time you start and then finish the game, you were just like, I've seen a world here. I've experienced so much stunningness. You play the original Tomb Raider, you're starting on the snowy cliffside, kinda, and then you get wolves attacking you, and you're in caves, and then you're ending up in these just stunning places. Going all over the place, in a forest, and this and that. It was an experience, whereas this new stuff is You know, you look at even the new movie. Yeah, okay, she's in England in one part, but then the majority of the movie she's in that forest dealing with that thing, and then they end up in some kind of a tomb, you know. And then you play the first game, and it's just on an island. It's just on one island, and it's all linear on that island. And it takes the story, you know, that long to really progress to the end, whereas the old Tomb Raider, they would fit, you know, tons more content into the same time frame thing, and it was so enthralling. You know, it was so enthralling that that's why Lara was so loved. That's why you cared so much about Lara Croft, you know? That's how so much lore was put into a very small amount of games, you know, that the whole world loved it. Whereas in these new things, I mean, and you see the same things similar in TV shows where there really isn't much movement from the start to the end of a season, and it's very kind of condensed, but they make it out like it's epic, and it's really not. Like, it's really, I don't want to say it's lazy, but it's just simple for the reason of being cheap. You know, if if you're just on one island, all the assets that it takes to make everything you're going to see on that island, you only have to make one set of things. But if you're on an island, but then you're also in a rocky area, and then you're also in a snowy area, and then you're also in another area, now you have to have different types of trees, different types of bushes, different types of rocks, different types of layouts of the elements on the ground, maybe different types of water going down, maybe different types of sky, different types of clouds, different types of background, different types of everything. You know, so they're they're trying to charge you the same amount for less these days. You know, and they keep on saying that it costs a lot to make these things, and I guess I can understand that. But over time, components to make things get cheaper. So the cost of creation gets cheaper, you know, to make something better than what it was before because your components are better. I guess they can, you know, have some form of an argument that textures are getting better. So making the textures on these things are getting better. And then there's more parts in the world. So if you're making wind effects on stuff, you know, there's a lot more things to check to make sure they're working well. You know, I'm guessing you probably have to make sure that every tree is being affected by the physics and elements of wind or light or everything, or else you'll get one tree just doing this, like all of a sudden in the side. You know, so I guess there might be more workload, you know, when it comes down to that. But should we not then say we want it to take, you know, maybe more time to make a game? You know, instead of just like kind of accepting certain things. So like when is Tomb Raider reboot game release? When was the that one? 2015. So it's coming out in 2018. 3 years. 3 years to start and finish the game. I guess you know that's I don't know, to me that's a little bit faster than I would expect. Actually, and then 2016 for Microsoft Windows. So you figure they took a year of working on the release for Windows, right? October 2016. So when did they start working on this game? You know, how much time was actually put into making Shadow of the Tomb Raider? 2 years? They're probably using the same engine as the previous game, so they're probably able to move over some assets, leaves, and stuff like that. Um, I don't know. I just don't think. I think that it's like the excuse that it costs more doesn't deserve to fly on certain things like this. You're making a $60 title that what you're going to be able to support and update and work on for a year? 2 years maybe? Maybe they'll make some DLC for it, you know? But then they're gonna start working on the next title for like a year or so, and then release it for $60 again. So, in essence, you know, and this game looks like it's in a forest again, just like the previous one. Kind of like foresty, jungle foresty. Maybe they made different character models because it looks like she's going back in time. But just from that movie, it looks like it's one tomb area. So she's going to be going around this tomb area and probably the outskirts of it as well. So it's going to be to get to it and then the outskirts of it. And then it's going to be different variations of very similar places, versing probably very similar people. And maybe she'll come back in time to the future or the current time to fight the current day people and whatever they're trying to accomplish in this tomb or whatnot. Looks like she's going to go back and forth in time or something. A little let down. I mean, I love Tomb Raider games. I'm probably going to still play it just to experience it, and see where it's going. And I feel like to review something in a way of like an actual review, I need to play it. So, this is just reviews of the trailer. So from what I could see from the trailer, didn't really see any gameplay. And it looks like the trailer is depicting a story that's going to be a little bit of a letdown, for me at least. But that's just me as an old Tomb Raider player that, still is nostalgic of the old Tomb Raider with the puzzles and everything. But, so all I can say is I hope for puzzles. I hope for vibrant worlds, multiples. I hope for a story that takes us on this unbelievable journey to multiple places, and not just a story that's going to be in this one set of tombs in this one tiny area against tons of the same character models, doing tons of the same type of sneak fighting, very linear with really no depth of difference other than like, oh, I could jump there and I could climb there. Oh, let me find these jump and climb spots that are all very clearly marked, and it's all just kind of like, why am I spending an hour doing this? It's not a real jump puzzle like they used to have in the Tomb Raiders. It's not a real puzzle where I'm having to push boxes and figure out switches and then find certain pieces that might be in a crevasse somewhere to open up a certain thing over here. It's really just kind of linear, but I don't know. I just have hopes. So if you're watching this on YouTube, sorry for the rant and the kind of, thought process that went all over the place. Hit like if you want or dislike, whatnot. I'm not really coming down on these things to say you shouldn't like, and I'm just saying that's just what I think. But alrighty. On to the next thing.